The New York Jets, man. Just a soap opera being displayed in a football-like setting. Wow. The New York Jets have been forced to participate in HBO's Hard Knocks despite their objections to participating in that show. This is Sports Guy talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about the New York Jets being forced to be showcased on HBO's Hard Knocks. There were 4 NFL teams that were eligible to participate in HBO's Hard Knocks, which were the Jets, Commanders, Saints, and Bears. Obviously, with the addition of Aaron Rodgers, the New York Jets were the front runners to be this year's participant in HBO's Hard Knocks. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So, here it is. What is your reaction to the Jets being showcased on HBO's Hard Knocks? And honestly, I freaking love it. I love seeing the New York Jets on TV. And not only do I love seeing the New York Jets being shown on TV, I love seeing Aaron Rodgers on TV. When Aaron Rodgers is on my screen, it is must-watch TV. When you talk about Aaron Rodgers, he is one of my favorite football players. Actually, scratch that. Aaron Rodgers is my favorite quarterback in the National Football League. Not just right now in the league, but in terms of all my time watching football. Aaron Rodgers is what got me into the sport of football. And to be able to see Aaron Rodgers in a Hard Knocks-like setting, it is unbelievably awesome for me to see. You think about all the additions that the New York Jets have made this offseason, and they are must-talk TV. The New York Jets, to me, are the most interesting team to talk about in the NFL this season, just because of the fact that they got so many personalities on their team, and that their team is just so good with their young talent. You think about all the talent that the New York Jets have. You also think about all the drama that is surrounding the New York Jets, and you have to think, of course they're going to be shown on TV. You're not going to show the New Orleans Saints on Hard Knocks. I mean, what is interesting about the New Orleans Saints? To listen to Dennis Allen talking in a very boring manner? No, I don't care to listen to Dennis Allen. Maybe they could talk about the addition of Derek Carr to the Saints. That could be somewhat interesting, but it's not that interesting to me. Derek Carr is not that needle mover that makes me say I want to really watch Derek Carr talk about football. When I watch Derek Carr, I'm thinking, okay, he might be a decent quarterback, but he's really nothing more than that. And I know some people might be saying, oh, Derek Carr, he puts up great individual stats. That means he must be a great quarterback. And that's a bunch of nonsense, man. Statistics in the NFL mean very little for quarterbacks, because if you can put a quarterback around an excellent team, he can put up good statistics in his sleep. But at the end of the day, it's about whether or not you have that clutch gene and whether or not you can carry a team on your back when it matters most, when the stakes are at its highest. And Derek Carr hasn't proven that he can do that, at least not yet. And I don't expect that to change when he's on the New Orleans Saints. That being said, though, the New Orleans Saints are not must-watch TV. And then you talk about the Chicago Bears. I mean, yeah, they got Justin Fields, nice guy. They got DJ Moore. They got Deonta Foreman, nice additions for the Bears, but they're not must-watch TV. Even though they're from the Carolina Panthers, my team, I'm not that interested in hearing about the additions of DJ Moore and Deonta Foreman. Sorry, guys, but you guys are just not must-watch TV. It's as simple as that. And the Washington Commanders, yeah, they're must-watch TV, but with the new owner coming in, and speaking of the new owner, thank goodness Dan Snyder is gone from the Washington Commanders, because that man was putting filth and trash in that organization every single day. Not only is he a trash owner, he's a trash human being, and he's just a despicable human being, man. Dan Snyder's got to get the heck out of Washington. I'm glad that Dan Snyder is being forced to sell the team. Too bad the NFL couldn't just collect his pockets instead of letting Dan Snyder collect that $7 billion in his hand. But anyways, though, the Washington Commanders, outside of Dan Snyder, though, they're not really that interesting. Yeah, you can talk about Eric BMD. Yeah, you can talk about Sam Howell, and I love those two. I think those two are going to be great for must-watch TV. But you have to think from the casual NFL fan perspective. Does the casual fan care to hear about Sam Howell's growth? No, not really. Most NFL fans probably don't even know who Sam Howell is. And that's no disrespect to Sam Howell, because I think Sam Howell is going to be a great quarterback in the NFL. I think Sam Howell is going to make the Washington Commanders very relevant this season. And I think that Sam Howell is very underrated. And I think Eric BMD should be a head coach in the league. But when you compare the Washington Commanders to the New York Jets, it does not hold a candle in it. When you talk about the New York Jets, what's there to talk about? There's to talk about Zach Wilson being a former number 2 overall pick, being demoted now to the backup position. You got to talk about Aaron Rodgers joining the New York Jets. That's very interesting to hear. And they also added Tim Boyle, a career third stringer. Now, why do I seem to be so interested in a third stringer? Well, not only is he a third stringer, but he is a longtime friend of Aaron Rodgers. So that's also interesting to hear. And the New York Jets have a new offensive coordinator in Nathaniel Hackett, who is also a longtime friend of Aaron Rodgers. So basically, the offensive room that is consisted of Aaron Rodgers, Zach Wilson, Tim Boyle, and Nathaniel Hackett, that's obviously going to be must-watch TV. Obviously, who doesn't love to hear Zach Wilson talk about banging MILFs, because Zach Wilson is an absolute dog when it comes to that department. Too bad he's not an absolute dog on the football field, because he's terrible at what he does. But Zach Wilson, he wins off the field. He just doesn't win on the field. But Aaron Rodgers, to hear about the hype that's surrounding around him. That's obviously going to be must-watch TV. And then you think about the running back position. You think about the fact that Breece Hall is going to be returning from injury, and that Breece Hall would have probably won Rookie of the Year had he not gotten injured, because he was one heck of a running back and he was a beast. And then you think about the guy that actually won Offensive Rookie of the Year, Garrett Wilson. He gets to be paired alongside with Aaron Rodgers, so that's going to be fun to watch as well. And then you think about the additions that the New York Jets made at the wide receiver position. They added Allen Lazard, Randall Cobb, and Mecole Hardman. So those are already 3 receivers. That's definitely going to be interesting to watch for sure. And then, of course, they got another young wide receiver that seems to be pretty good, but he's on the bubble right now in terms of making the 53-man roster, in Denzel Mims. But that's only because the Green Bay Packers already have so many receivers on their roster. So that's going to be interesting to see. The whole offense of the New York Jets is just going to be so interesting to watch and analyze, which is exactly what Hard Knocks is all about. Hard Knocks needs guys that can draw up storylines and draw up drama, and who can do that better than the New York Jets, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. But that doesn't stop there either, because you look at their defense as well. They got Quinn Williams, a very good defensive tackle, and they got CJ Mosley, who's one of the best linebackers in all of football. And then, of course, they got Sauce Gardner, who's already the best cornerback in football, even though he just finished up his first season, and he also won Defensive Rookie of the Year as well. So the New York Jets, they have an Offensive Rookie of the Year, and they have a Defensive Rookie of the Year. So obviously the young talent of the New York Jets is going to be interesting to talk about as well. But the interest doesn't even stop there for the New York Jets, because you're thinking about how the New York Jets have a coach who's on the hot seat right now in Robert Saleh. Yeah, Robert Saleh's done a decent job on the defensive side of the ball, but you can't say that about Robert Saleh on the offensive end of the ball, because of the fact that Zach Wilson has performed so poorly for the Jets in his 2 seasons as an NFL starter. But hey, Robert Saleh can now say, I got Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback, and now I have a great quarterback. Now there's no excuse for Robert Saleh to not show up for the New York Jets this year, because of the fact that they have a superstar quarterback, because of the fact that their defense is already so good. And you think about the fact how the New York Jets have both an Offensive Rookie of the Year and a Defensive Rookie of the Year player. The New York Jets is stacked from top to bottom, and they got a quarterback that can generate headlines almost better than anybody else in Aaron Rodgers. So I would love to see the New York Jets on Hard Knocks. I love that the NFL forced them to do Hard Knocks, because they are must-watch TV. The New York Jets are going to be interesting than all those other teams that were considered to be candidates to be shown on HBO's Hard Knocks. When you think about the Jets, they got everything right from top to bottom in terms of drama. They got the general manager who has been making risky moves for years and finally landed a superstar quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. They got a former draft bust that's currently sitting on the bench right now. That's going to be interesting to see. And then they hired an offensive coordinator that was a friend of Aaron Rodgers. That's interesting to see. And then they also got a head coach whose hot seat is scorching right now in Robert Saleh. That's also very interesting to see as well. And then, of course, they got Aaron Rodgers. Anytime Aaron Rodgers is on the screen, it's must-watch TV. And you think about all the talent that the New York Jets have, both on offense and defense, and that makes it for very compelling television. I am hyped up to see Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets on Hard Knocks. I think this is a team that can compete for the playoffs this year. I am really excited for the New York Jets to be showcased. It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertaining. I know I'm going to be watching it for sure. So that is why I am hyped up to see the Jets being showcased on HBO's Hard Knocks, even though the Jets themselves are not happy about this decision. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking. Like the video and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That'll be for the @Dustin Tran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @Dustin Tran and that Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @Dustin Tran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video. Comment down below. Check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.